It is your girl Rachel, and we are here to get you ready for another episode of DX Central Live. This is the DX party where the music is just as hot as the DX has been this week. More on that in a bit though. It is always lovely to have you in the chat, and while you are there, tap on that pinned link at the top of the chat box and go ahead and submit your shout outs of what you have been hearing since last we spoke. We've got a massive show tonight, from Auroral Rings pushing deep into the south to Grey Line Magic reaching all the way down under. Let's start the slide into the weekend with some smooth vibes. This is the Grey Line Slide.
I can hear the voices drifting from the east. 1,000 miles or more, to say the very least. The noise floor is falling, the signal is getting strong. It's been a weary journey, but it didn't take too long. Oh, the Grey Line glide, nowhere left to hide. Open up the squelch and take a little ride. From the coast of Maine to the desert wide, catching every whisper on the Grey Line glide.
week, and once again, your persistence with the frequency challenge boggles the mind. More than 2,500 logs in just 2 weeks? Honestly, I think you lot have officially broken the system. Have you met your quotas yet? Or are you still hunting for that one elusive catch to finish out a frequency? Don't worry, there is still time to get your logs in. Just be sure you are registered at dxchallenges.com so you can be part of the magic. If you've logged something, whether it is a massive new catch or a visit from an old friend, get those shout-outs in now. The link is pinned right at the top of the chat, and we want to hear all about it. I can relate to this next track. This is Copper Sanctuary.
It's a world of wire and a wall of grey, keeping all the static of the world away. I've got the soldering iron and a cup of tea. This is the only place I can truly be. I'm looking at the schematic on the dusty floor. I don't need the people knocking at my door. The BFO is dialed in just right. I'm catching all the signals in the middle of the night. In my copper sanctuary where the waves are free, nobody's gonna find a person like me. Tuning the world, filtering the sound. I'm the king of the shack in the underground. The sun is coming up through the basement glass. I'm watching all the frequencies as they start to pass. One last log in the spiral book before I give the world a second look. In my copper sanctuary where the waves are free, nobody's gonna find a person like me. Tuning the world, filtering the sound. I'm the king of the shack in the underground.
It's been a proper wild week on the bands with the Aurora pulling those southern delicacies out from the noise floor. We've had hints of Argentina and some proper deep catches appearing on medium wave. And if you're up to the challenge to get those and your other catches in for our current challenge, just make sure you're registered at dxchallenges.com. Don't get left behind. A harbinger of things to come, this one is called the Discriminator Lock.
looking for the curve of a distant place. The noise is falling like a summer rain, leaving behind the beauty and the pain. A flicker of the pilot in the center of the band, a voice reaching out to touch a steady hand. The meter is finally taking hold, turning the silver into the gold. The discriminator lock, feeling the frequency around the clock. Hold the signal, know the signal, don't let it fade away. Bringing the night into the light of day. Captured by the limit of the FM wave. This is the moment that I've tried to save. MUF is rising up high, drawing a line across the midnight sky. The discriminator lock, feeling the frequency around the clock. Hold the signal, don't let it fade away. Bringing the night into the light of day.
If you could see Lloyd bouncing around the studio offices this week, you would think he has lost the plot. Don't worry, he is just a bit manic, because the Troppo engine has been running full steam across the Gulf a bit this last week, and we aren't the only ones. From Texas and Mexico one night and to Florida the next, even the Midwest is getting in on the action. It's like a proper weather-fueled party on the dial. Now, Lloyd did a bit of portable DX during a Troppo opening this past week, and if he had been able to find a good cell signal at his remote site, he would have fired up a Patreon-exclusive live stream. How will you know if he manages one of these in the future? Well, it starts by heading to patreon.com/DXCentral and joining the Studio C crew. Every bit helps us keep the antennas in the air. And now for a track about something we haven't been spending nearly enough time with lately, judging by the increasingly large pile of projects stacking up on the workbench. This is an ode to silver solder. forgot, this is the final week of the Frequency Challenge. It's also our very last medium wave challenge of the season, because come April 3rd, we are switching gears and moving exclusively to FM. Get those logs in while you can. And get your Yaggies, dipoles, omnis and log periodics tuned up, because the season is nearly upon us. One more for the party before I hand over the keys. It's time to get atmospheric. My loves, that is me done for the night. But stay right where you are, because Mark Monroe is standing by to launch the countdown, and you don't want all of Mark's work to go to waste. I mean, the man has been in the office this morning since 8 a.m. picking out the very perfect set list for tonight's show. Now that is commitment. Let's go around the table here for our reminders first, and most pressing, get those shout-outs in at the link pinned at the top of the chat, or just go straight to dxchallenges.com. While you are there, be sure to register at dxchallenges.com so you can partake of our current and all future DX challenges. Come on then, you know you want to. And a huge thank you to our patrons in Studio C for all the support in keeping things moving around here. You can join them by going to patreon.com/DXCentral. A massive thank you to our sponsors, the International Radio Club of America at ircaonline.org, the National Radio Club at nationalradioclub.org, and the Spectrum Monitor magazine at thespectrummonitor.com. A new issue just came out this week, and Lloyd's got an article in there about the future of AM and FM DX you will not want to miss. Up next is our mate Mark Monroe. He may be on his fourth cup of coffee today, but he is nevertheless looking very distinguished as always. I think he's actually colour coordinated his socks with our new DX radio mic flag. I'll see you on the other side. Your girl, Rachel, is out.
Good evening, this is Mark Monroe, and the countdown to go time in Studio A has officially begun, and we have just under 10 minutes on the clock. The frequency challenge continues to shatter expectations with over 2,500 submissions, a clear indicator of the intensity of both the DX conditions as well as your determination to meet those per frequency quotas. For our first track, it's a world premiere, and we feel it captures the collective spirit of the community. This is The Common Carrier.
It's a long road to the outer rim, where the light is low and the chances are slim, but we're looking for a common thread in the cooling wires underneath the bed. The propagation is a moving target in a digital world that's starting to forget, but we're holding to the old ways in the copper garden and the lunar phase. Oh, carry the message on the common carrier, breaking through the static barrier. One voice in 1,000 miles, bringing the world and the radio smile. From the canyon floor to the mountain peak, it's a fragile signal that we're trying to seek. AM, FM, the circle is wide with the spirit of the radio on our side. Oh, carry the message on the common carrier, breaking through the static barrier. One voice in 1,000 miles, bringing the world and the radio smiles.
Pacing is essential, as our friends in the Frequency Challenge these past 2 weeks have discovered. Add to that some Grey Line DX, which has become particularly interesting on medium wave lately, with several listeners riding the Terminator wave all the way to Australia and New Zealand. If you haven't submitted your shout-outs yet, it is time to get those in. Just tap the link pinned at the top of the chat. Our next track has that late-night DX session feel when you're just trying to keep your eyes on the dial and your ears tuned in. This is Midnight Offset.
Cause in the dark I'm tracing the edge of a distant carrier, leaning into the dial, waiting for the sky to bend. It's the pull, the steady draw, beyond the limits of the local law. Tuning the shadow, finding the light in the long distance of the night. The whip antenna, vibrating in the wind, searching for the spot where the clouds begin to reflect, to mirror the world coming in a little bit clearer. FM spectrum lines, reading the signs. No plans, just the drift. Watching the signal start to shift. The delayer is gone, the path is wide. Nothing but the noise on my side. SNR, steady and true, bringing the world back to you.
Just a few minutes until we go live, but you know what has been live all week? In the troposphere. Those tropo ducks have been incredibly productive, even providing some weather radio DX for those paying attention. Remember, this is our final push for medium wave until the summer of DX Challenge. Next week we pivot to the VHF bands for our first FM challenge of the season, and it will be our last of season 5 of the Frequency Challenge seasons. Registration is open at dxchallenges.com for those ready for the change in pace. While we are thinking about FM, wouldn't it be nice to not get just some single or double hop, but can you imagine triple hop? This next track ponders just that sort of thing.
Everything it needs inside the shack.
and that will do it. We have reached the end of the line. The music stops, but the party is just beginning. We head now to Studio A, where Lloyd is standing by and ready to start the show, right after a word from our sponsors.
DX Central Live is brought to you in part by...
From long wave to satellites, medium wave through HF, ham radio to scanners. If you can DX it, the Spectrum Monitor has you covered. Editor and publisher Ken Reitz has assembled a who's who of radio writers to share their knowledge and expertise from a wide range of DX-related topics. Each month, the Spectrum Monitor's columnists dive into their specialties to give readers tips, tricks, the latest news and station updates, and more. The Spectrum Monitor also provides a monthly assortment of feature articles that give in-depth insight into the past, present, and future of DXing. You can get a full year of the Spectrum Monitor for only $24. Individual issues from the current year are available for $3 each. You can also purchase previous years of the Spectrum Monitor in their entirety for as low as $12. For more information, visit thespectrummonitor.com. That's thespectrummonitor.com. For more than 90 years, the National Radio Club has been at the forefront of providing DXers with the latest in station news, DX-related technical information, and reception reports from DXers around the world. The NRC's AM radio log is the most expansive and detailed resource of station information for US and Canadian radio stations that is available in any format. The club's publication, the DX News, is available in both print and electronic format and provides the latest information on call letter and format changes, construction permits, and other information to help keep DXers informed of the latest updates they may hear on the air. For more information, visit their website at nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org. The International Radio Club of America gives DXers incredible value by putting important station information right at your fingertips. The club's e-publication, the DX Monitor, includes DXer loggings, station information updates, international loggings, and more. Other club publications include the IRCA Mexican Log, a must-have resource for any DXer that chases stations from Mexico, the TIS-HAR list, the IRCA slogan list, sunset sunrise maps, and DXer technical guides. The joint IRCA-NRC email reflector and groups.io group is a hub for real-time DX conditions, station news, and DX-related conversation. For more information, visit ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org.
Can't get enough DX? Then the DX Central from the Static podcast is for you. Take DX Central on the go and listen to episodes from DX Central Live, interviews with prominent members of the DX community, tips, tricks, how-tos, your DX memories and stories. And that's just the start. You can find the From the Static podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, or anywhere you get podcasts, or by visiting FromTheStatic.net. That's FromTheStatic.net. For stories, signals, and voices from across the airwaves, don't miss the DX Central From the Static podcast.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to Le Grey Line, a table for two with a view of our beautiful right triangle loop antenna. Allons-y. Excellent. Tonight, the chef has prepared a truly inspired international-based menu.
Look, I'm starving for some DX. My logbook has been empty for 3 days. What have you got that's actually hitting the S-meter?
Ah, Monsieur Isiger, c'est bon. May I suggest we start with a southern delicacy? We have a lovely, sun-drenched Argentine on 8:70 a.m. It was harvested just last night. I think you will find the oral discharge gives it notes of tango with just a hint of accordion.
I think I'm getting the fading. Yeah, it's earthy. Almost a heterodyne finish. Seems very vintage.
Dang it, I can't hear a thing. It's all static. Don't you have something more local?
Local? Je ne pense pas. Monsieur, We are a DX establishment. If you want local, there's a drive-through translator down the street. Now, if you are up to the challenge, for the main course, our chef is bringing something that was caught right from the Terminator wave.
Is that the Australian catch? I heard the ABC radio crop was exquisite this year.
Exactement. It was caught right on the grey line. Very rare. It's served with a side of Down Under accent and a garnish of the end of summer. It's incredibly fragile. If you blink, boop, the propagation will collapse.
Wait, did I just hear a station ID? Was that it?
I'm afraid Monsieur was too slow. The sun has risen in Melbourne. The signal has expired.
You've got to be kidding me. I'm still starving here. Give me some of that Midwestern tropo everyone's talking about.
Ah, yes, the tropo. A rustic choice. We have a delightful Great Lakes ducting in right now. I believe a Wisconsin vintage. It's very bold, very cheesy, but be warned, it's a pop-up menu. It may disappear even before the check arrives.
Oh no! My noise floor! It's corked! Maitre D', there is a plasma TV in this audio.
My apologies, monsieur. I shall have the chef point the terminated loop antenna in the other direction immediately.
It's a Friday night, rolling in the North Shore, setting frequencies right. AM and FM, the airwaves collide. DX Central Live, where the signals can't hide. Tuning in the static, chasing down the sounds. Every single signal is magic we have found. All radios hum, the chatters all agree. DX Central Live is the place to be. Folks in the chat, shout out your call. From east to west, we're breaking down the walls. It's the magic of the night, where frequencies fly. Join us now on DX Central Live.
There we go. That's what happens when you hit the button the wrong time. It's DX Central Live from the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana. Studio A is where you find us this evening. Oh man. You try to unmute your microphone and you fat finger it. We've got ourselves a great show this week. We're gonna let this roll.
The chatters all agree. DX Central Live is the place to be. Folks in the chat, shout out your call. From east to west, we're breaking down the walls. It's the magic of the night, where frequencies fly. Join us now on DX Central Live.
From the Gulf South
to your corner of the world.
This is DX Central Live.
Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
All right, there we go. Now we're ready. It's DX Central Live from the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana. Studio A is where you'll find us for about a month or so more. Here in Mandeville for DX Central Live on Friday nights at 2345 UTC. Hopefully you've had a great week of DX. I think most of you have had a pretty good week, at least on the AM side. Some folks getting in on the FM side. We're going to be talking about that because we had a nice little week of FMDX here. As some of you saw, our Gulf Coast tropo is going as it is known to do. Also, some folks getting some southern stuff. And when I say southern, I don't just mean South America. I don't just mean down into Peru or Ecuador or Argentina, although we did have that this week. I'm talking folks getting down south into the southern hemisphere, into the South Pacific South, Australia, New Zealand. Seeing some folks getting that gray line boost down into down under. And so we'll talk a bit about that tonight. Of course, I got your shout outs to get to. Just go to dxchallenges.com/shoutout if you haven't done so already. You got plenty of time to get yours in. We'll read those out here and do the old high five with everybody here on the stream. And let's see what else we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk a bit about some portable FMDX that I did, of course, with the Tropo that we had here. One of the things that I've wanted to do is I live really close to Lake Pontchartrain here in Mandeville. And I wanted to go down and see, because I was reading like Chris Cadlick saying that even if you're getting like Tropo where you live, if you're near a lake, if you're at the lake, sometimes you get a little bit of a boost from the Tropo that the lake is actually causing. And that kind of goes in with the Tropo that you have coming in anyway, and you can get like a little boost. Well, I tested that theory out here at Lake Pontchartrain this last weekend, and lo and behold, it did do well. So we're going to talk about my little excursion. We're going to talk about some of the gear that I used for that excursion, specifically the antenna de jour, which was a custom-built Aero antenna. It was a Yagi, a 5-element Yagi. So I'm going to talk to you guys about how to get that going if you're so inclined. If you want to do one of these custom-built Aero FM antennas, we're going to talk about how you can do that, where you'll go, and that kind of stuff. We're also going to look at the Tropo forecast because it's for the next couple of days here. But by the time we get to the weekend, next weekend, maybe a little bit gearing back up again. So we'll look at that. There's already been sporadic E. Now, not here in North America, but we are not yet even to April, and Europe is starting to get some action. So we're going to look at the maps and talk a bit about that. Of course, we've got more DX to do. We've got some AM DX to do. We're finishing up. This is our last week that we're entering into, the last week of our frequency challenge, which is going to be the last AM DX challenge that we have for Season 5 of the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge. It's going to be our last Medium Wave Frequency Challenge. After that, we're going to be switching gears for the month of April and doing some FM challenging. So we're going to talk about that next week. But for this week, we're going to finish up and do some more AM challenge work here on trying to get 3 stations per frequency, and on the main portion of the band, too, if you're on the expanded band. So we're going to do some more DX along those lines. Again, we got your shout-outs to get to and some more stuff. So I encourage you to stick around here and lean back, bring your radio with you, DX alongside of us, as we like to do here. And speaking of DX, let's go ahead and get to some DX right now. Our first DX session brought to you by the IRCA, International Radio Club of America, ircaonline.org. Let me go. See, that's that Yagi that I was talking about, the Aero antenna that I had out there at the lake. That's the antenna right there. I took a little picture on my phone of the stars with the Yagi. So that's what we're looking at there. All righty. We are right now looking at, let's go to this one. We are now on our shortwave central Kiwi and KiwiSDR with our big CAS antenna. This is the 25 by 72 foot CAS antenna, and we are looking south. We have flipped the antenna back to the south now, so we're looking at 150 degrees, almost right exactly at the Panamanian Colombian border right there at South America, and then stretching down into the mainland. So very, very dominant signals from the south on this antenna, so we're going to take a look at that. We'll also squeeze over probably and look at some stuff on our vertical antenna. This is the DX Central Kiwi, so we'll probably do some looking there. Oops, there we go. We get that back up on the DX Central Kiwi with our low noise vertical antenna, because it's actually picking up a little bit more signals right now than the other antennas are on that antenna. So let's see. We left off at let's go to 1480 here. We left off we did the 1500s last week. 1490 is a local graveyarder, so I'm not going to subject you guys to that. Let's go ahead and look at 1480 though and see what we have coming in. And of course, it's a copyright strike right from the beginning.
DX Central Live, top of the hour alert.
Right in the jump. All right, it is FM or AMDX season As we're wrapping up our frequency challenge on the AM side of things, we'll be looking at FM next month. But we are sitting on 1480 right now, looking for some IDs for the top of the hour here. And I'm trying to talk over top of this so I don't get that nice little slap on the wrist from YouTube saying
WABF 1480.
There you go. 1480 WABF. We didn't even have to wait for the top of the hour. It was right there waiting for us. Let's see. That is Alabama. Mobile. Area. The original, one of a kind, WABF. All right, let's go to 1470 then. Actually, Sean, you heard a Gangster of Love. And the Pompatus of Love. I used to love to do when I did gigs. I would always do a mashup of that song with the Sweater Song by Weezer, Louie Louie by the Kingsmen. I'd always do those. All kind of mashed up together. All right, this is 1470. That we're sitting on right now, looking south. And this time of day especially, that's going to be most likely WMGG in Egypt Lake, Florida. But we're going to find out here in a bit. There you go. Here I am, Dennis. You got it, Rick. Little Weezer Blue Album. Little Louie Louie, little Space Cowboy, the Joker. That's a fun mashup. Throw a little hot, hot, hot in there as well. Kind of mash it up. It was a nice little flair. The 30th or 31st, I want to say, Barry. All right, let's check on our DX Central Kiwi. 1480 still WABF. Let me throw this into both ears here for you. 1470. Ugh. I got my coffee. I just got to finish drinking it. It's been a long week. That's probably still to be MGG. Let's go to 1460. We're going to take a look at our map here in Jaguar. There we go. This is probably to be XOK here in Baton Rouge. That we're hearing on 1460. Let me switch it up here and let's look at it on the shortwave Central Kiwi now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's them. Big signal. 1450 is a graveyarder. 1440. Looking down south. No, Barry, this one's unleaded. $14.40. This is probably also Florida. Take your pick, either Radio Vision down there in Lehigh Acres, or it could be Winter Park. Thank you, Jared. It's been a long week. End of the month, end of the quarter. And the day job, that's oof. When you get to that last week of the month and the last week of the quarter, and when they both have it at the same time, that's when you see Lloyd just. I'm pretty sure this is probably Winter Park on top, and probably underneath them is Lehigh Acres, the Radio Vision. So let's take it down to 1430. There's a talk radio station here in Lakeland, Florida, to be LKF. But what about these three here that I haven't logged yet? Why are we not getting these other Florida? Gainesville, 10 kilowatt. The Shepherd. To be LTG, Panama City. Radio Fe. And then this one down here in Homestead. La Estación de la Familia. Oh, there's also a Shepherd up on Germantown. I forgot. So you have the Shepherd on two different stations on this frequency. Wah, wah.
The only reason that they always, after the fact, have love for them is because those coaches often were the ones who recruited them, and I get it.
So this is sports talk. Probably Oklahoma The Buzz. KTBZ. Tulsa, that's my guess.
Very seldom do you see former players do that. I'll tell you the same thing. Bobby Knight, the late Bobby Knight.
That's probably who that is. 1420. Oh, let me go over here on the Shortwave Central Kiwi and see if that might help us look at those Florida stations. Nope, it's also Oklahoma. Oh, 1460? That's Baton Rouge. That's our local here in Baton Rouge. WXOK. And let's check 1420 here on the Shortwave Central Kiwi. That's Lafayette, KPEL. $14.10.
To you, God bless you, our Father who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
That's Archangel Radio in Mobile.
Our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us.
And then we get to 1400, which is a graveyard. So that's the 14s here. Maybe an opportunity in there to at least get one per frequency, which I haven't done yet. I'm so far behind. For reference, see the earlier statement about the last week of the month, last week of the quarter. That's why I'm so far behind. All right, let's do a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some FM Tropo stuff. We got your shout-outs to get to and a whole bunch more. So don't go anywhere, my friends. More DX Central Live is heading your way right after this.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. DX Central Live is brought to you in part by...
For more than 90 years, the National Radio Club has been at the forefront of providing DXers with the latest in station news, DX-related technical information, and reception reports from DXers around the world. The NRC's AM radio log is the most expansive and detailed resource of station information for U.S. and Canadian radio stations that is available in any format. The club's publication, the DX News, is available in both print and electronic format and provides the latest information on call letter and format changes, construction permits, and other information to help keep DXers informed of the latest updates they may hear on the air. For more information, visit their website at nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org. The International Radio Club of America gives DXers incredible value by putting important station information right at your fingertips. The club's e-publication, the DX Monitor, includes DXer loggings, station information updates, international loggings, and more. Other club publications include the IRCA Mexican Log, a must-have resource for any DXer that chases stations from Mexico, the TIS-HAR list, the IRCA slogan list, sunset sunrise maps, and DXer technical guides. The joint IRCA-NRC email reflector and groups.io group is a hub for real-time DX conditions, station news, and DX-related conversation. For more information, visit ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org. From long wave to satellites, medium wave through HF, ham radio to scanners. If you can DX it, the Spectrum Monitor has you covered. Editor and publisher Ken Reitz has assembled a who's who of radio writers to share their knowledge and expertise from a wide range of DX-related topics. Each month, the Spectrum Monitor's columnists dive into their specialties to give readers tips, tricks, the latest news and station updates, and more. The Spectrum Monitor also provides a monthly assortment of feature articles that give in-depth insight into the past, present, and future of DXing. You can get a full year of the Spectrum monitor for only $24. Individual issues from the current year are available for $3 each. You can also purchase previous years of the Spectrum monitor in their entirety for as low as $12. For more information, visit thespectrummonitor.com. That's thespectrummonitor.com.
Can't get enough DX? Then the DX Central from the Static podcast is for you. Take DX Central on the go and listen to episodes from DX Central Live, interviews with prominent members of the DX community, tips, tricks, how-tos, your DX memories and stories. And that's just the start. You can find the From the Static podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, or anywhere you get podcasts, or by visiting FromTheStatic.net. That's FromTheStatic.net. For stories, signals, and voices from across the airwaves, don't miss the DX Central From the Static podcast.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
Floating on a wave of light, moving through the velvet night. I've got the coordinates in hand, searching for a distant land. It's a cosmic carrier in the air. I can feel it everywhere. From the silence to the sound, look at what the dial has found. The cosmic carrier, bringing the future into the past. The cosmic carrier in the groove, making the whole atmosphere move.
From the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
I don't have my microphone unmuted. That was one thing we're talking about here. It's DX Central live from the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana. And you're looking at us right now here in Studio A. We're talking AM and FM DX. There you go. We're talking all kinds of fun stuff here. I mentioned earlier, one of the things we're going to talk about today is the Tropo that we had last week, and specifically my expedition that I did to Lake Pontchartrain. So let's talk a bit about that first. We're going to get to your shout-outs here in a bit, but I wanted to start off with this kind of Tropo excursion that we did. So, went out on the 22nd. I guess that was Saturday, wasn't it? Right? Sunday. Went out on Sunday. I guess it was Saturday night because it was UTC Sunday. That's right. So went out Saturday night down to Lake Pontchartrain, took my my truck down and my portable setup that I have. So my portable setup consists of, I have a big bag. It's like a 40-inch long bag. And in that bag, I keep my tripod mount. And the tripod is basically, it's like a speaker tripod kind of thing, but it has like an actual like camera mount on the top, those little screw-on ones, like for, you know, a flash or whatever you're going to put on the camera. It's an 18-foot telescopic pole on this tripod that I bought from Amazon a couple of years ago. And so it extends up to 18 feet. So I put that in the back of the truck. So it's already, 3 or 4 feet off the ground. So it puts the antenna on top of the tripod at about 21, 22 feet or so, which is a good height, especially right there at the lake. For the I have my RG6 quad shield feed line coming down, and I had to use guy ropes on this. I used some carabiner clips to clip onto the actual mast itself, and then tied those off to the rails on my truck. And that way, because it's so windy there, and this thing is so high, it gets real wobbly. And for the antenna itself, it's that Arrow 5-element custom cut FM cut for 102 megahertz Yagi antenna. 5 elements. It's got the boom that kind of tears down. You can put it in the pieces. That goes inside the bag as well. And there's a little clamp that screws onto the top of that tripod mount, and then the clamp that clamps on top, and then you clamp that down onto the boom of the antenna. And that's what holds the antenna down. So clamp, antenna, telescopic tripod, feed line coming down, guy ropes going down to the truck, and that, I will show you guys here, looks a little something like this. So this is what the setup looked like on Saturday night. So you'll see here, whoops, that's a little bit more than I wanted to zoom. So we've got our truck bed here. You can kind of sort of see, it's a little dark, but the tripod feeder down here, you see the guy ropes coming down, got those tied off to the rails on the truck, and then up here is the Yagi itself. And 5 elements, and it's meant to be a portable antenna. You tear it down, you take it apart when you're done, put it back together when you want to use it again. And Arrow antennas, for those of you who are not familiar, they do a lot of 2-meter portable antennas, 440 antennas for ham radio. A lot of satellite guys use these antennas, and they actually use arrow shafts, like the shafts of an arrow. They use those to make these antenna elements. So really, really great antennas. And then they have these booms that you kind of put the booms together, and it's got this little pipe that sticks out, and you put that over top of the pipe, and then the elements kind of have little pre-drilled holes. You just put those in there, and one element side has a screw that goes into it. The other side, you screw it onto the screw, and then that's your antenna built. Uses a BNC connector up here at the top. But this is the antenna. This is the in the field, and you'll see here it's got a little handle at the bottom, because normally Arrow antennas are meant to be held, right? So they're meant to be portable and kind of held in your hand. That's what the satellite guys, they have their HT from ham radio. They're holding onto this antenna, and they can rotate it and flip it for the different polarization, and they work satellites with it, right? So that's typically what Arrow antennas usually does. But they do have this option, and I found it a couple years ago and got it, and very, very happy that I did. So I'll share it with you guys now. So this is Arrow antennas. I'll go ahead and put this, there you go. If you go here to Arrow antennas and then go to the Arrow 2 portable antenna, right here is the link, and then scroll down until you get down here to the bottom, there is a special order section here. 3-element handheld Yagi for any one frequency from 102 to 500 megahertz. So you can get this custom cut. You can get one for 160 megahertz if you're wanting to do weather DX, which I might be doing that next. Okay. So I go to special order, and then they give you a little design here, what it looks like with your boom and then your Yagis. And they do have a tuning piece as well right here, a little tuning stub. But then you go down here, and then you'll put in your frequency you want. So let's just say I want to cut it for 102 megahertz, kind of close to the center of the band or so. Oh, oops, I did the wrong thing. Lloyd did the wrong thing here. He hit the wrong button. So hit 102. And then it shows you a 3-element 102 megahertz custom cut is $144 for this custom cut Yagi antenna. Now you can then add on from there if you want the boom to be able to be split, which I recommend that you do if you're going to be doing this portable. If you're not, I would recommend it anyway, because this particular one's not meant to be a permanent install outside all the time antenna. You're going to want to have this one that you can kind of either put up in your attic or be able to tear it down, bring it back inside. So it's really ideal for a portable setup, or a temporary one if you just want to have one that you put up for a DX session, then tear it back down after the DX is over. So you're going to want the split boom fee for $10, and then if you want to add on, so I did the add-on to go to 5 elements. I wouldn't probably go much more than 5. That's pushing it. In fact, they were kind of like, for FM 102 megahertz, I don't know if we should do that or not. I was like, it's going to be receive only. Let's give it a shot. So we did it, and it's worked great. I would say if you want to do more than 3, do the 4. The 4 element's a good number for that Yagi. That should be good. And that's an extra $22. So for $32, you get a 4 element on top of the 144. So that's what my math brain is broken. 176 for $176. You'll get a portable, tear down, fantastic 4 element Yagi antenna that you can bring wherever you want to go, and it works really, really well. And it just, you can put it, like I said, on top of one of these telescopic kind of tripods or whatever kind of mast you might have, and put it up in the air and do your work, and then bring it back down, and you're good to go. So they work really, really well. You can transmit off of them for 150 watts if you're mounting it, at 10 watts if you're holding on to it. In fact, he thought I was going to be doing some transmitting off of this, but no, this is receive only for me. So they are great about communicating back and forth. They'll reach out to you, have communication back and forth. It does take a little bit of time to get, so don't do this and think you're going to have it like next month. It's going to take a little bit of time because they have to do custom cuts, and there's some back and forth, and they do a lot of shows and things like that. So just be ready for a little bit of a turnaround time. But if you can plan for that and you want to have a good portable Yagi antenna, I can't say enough good things about these antennas. Now the question is, do they work? Well, this is what I got just sitting at the lakefront that night. And for about an hour or so, hour and a half maybe, of DX time, including, this is the golden catch right here. This is XHPEFB FM. And I heard that ID when I was DXing with it. And they are at 669 miles, 150 watts. 150 watts. 669 miles with that antenna. It did the trick. Now, most of the stuff that I heard was stuff that I hear here, right? So was the lake boost there? Maybe, especially for that little guy. Maybe. Would I've gotten this and more from home? I don't know, especially because these have amps on them, Illinois amps. I don't know. A lot of relogs. But that was a new one, and that was the surprise. Was 150 watts at 670 miles here into Nuevo Leon. So did not expect that to pop up in my my DX session. So I did get some RDS catches. We'll show some of those here. This was XHAVO in Mexico. Came in on 101.5. They're a pretty frequent visitor. Let's see, the next one here, it was them again. Let's see, this one was a KTEX down on the border, right at the border by Reynosa. A lot of stuff, a lot of catches right there at the border. Edinburgh, Reynosa, Rio Bravo, McAllen, like all that little area right there had a lot of stuff coming in from down there. This Wild 104 was one of those. I think that's Edinburgh, if I remember right. This one, the A1EE, I think that was a station either right there on the border or across the border. This one, this 95.5, was across the border. And so a couple others. Yeah, KBTQ, they were right there on the border. I think that's the Edinburgh station, if I remember right, as well. There's 2 Edinburghs. I think that was one of them. Those did the trick. Ah, there I am. I'm back. Did you hear me that whole time, or was I just dead air? Okay, now we're back. Okay. I don't know. The computer froze. It does its thing sometimes. Anyway, so the long story short on this one is it did a great job. It performed as well as any of the antennas that I have here, especially the log periodic, the Yagis, the big ones that I have up here, the 65-footer that's over at Mom's house. It did just as well, right? It was right there with those guys, keeping pace. Was that the antenna? Was that the lake? I'll do some, you know what? I'll do some testing here with that antenna here at the house this summer and see what it does, just to kind of compare. But I'm a fan. I like it quite a bit. I'm planning on doing some more portable work with it. For the radio, I was using my little NXP Nano TEF radio. That's where those photos came from, is my little TEF 6686 portable that we have. So that was the radio of the DX for the moment. Maybe I could do a splitter with like an RSP DX or some other kind of like an R2 or something like that gets me like 10 megahertz of bandwidth, and do some recordings into an SDR on my little Surface Pro 6 laptop. So we maybe do something like that too. But I kind of enjoyed the live DX too. That was really nice. The bad part was down there on the lakefront, the cell phone signal kind of sucks. So I was hoping to be able to do a live stream of me doing the DX there. That didn't work out. And also getting on FM list and doing my thing on my phone was kind of challenging too. So I don't know. So maybe we'll find a place that has a good signal. We'll take the portable rig out there this summer and do some live FM DX portable and do a live stream. We'll try to figure that out. But just got to find a good cell phone signal right there on the lake. All right, let's get to your shout-outs.
Shout out loud, hear the call for every single big or small, from AM to FM from C to C. We celebrate the ones who slag the IT. Shout out loud, let it be known, you're never DXing all alone. Through the static we found our way. Shout outs making waves today.
You know what happened? The other day, I had made the comment. I was like, this season, we haven't really had a lot of technical issues. Especially since I got my new audio interface. We've really been pretty clean. Just had to go open my mouth, didn't I? Shout outs, you can get yours in dxchallenges.com/shoutout. We'll go ahead and read yours here on the air and give you that virtual high five. Now we're talking a lot about, but there's still some AMDX to be found. And that brings me to our first shout out from our friend David in Georgia, who I am so happy you said this. He says, I saw a social media post from a medium wave DXer who wanted to give up on DXing. Several people responded saying that there are still stations to log. I am proof of that, he says. We're going to circle back to this topic in a second. You know I'm going to have something to say about that. In March, I logged to be IWA 1290 in Eatonville, Florida, the Shepherd. They're everywhere. That's like the third time I've heard that station name this evening. At 0700. Also, at MJR 1380 in Winchester, Kentucky. Relevant radio at 2000 hours. A few days later, logged KLIF on 570 out of Dallas at 7 a.m. with multiple station IDs. They do come in clusters on that one. Yes, it took a while for me to find new stations, but I kept at it and will continue at it as long as there are AMDX stations out there. My man. So we're going to start you off here with the log saw for some new logs for our friend David there in Georgia. There you go. So, what does Lloyd have to say about the topic of these folks who are saying that AM is dead, there's nothing to DX? I hear the same thing about shortwave, and it's just not true. It's just not true. Now, on shortwave, is it as good as it used to be? No. No. Do you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of broadcasters up there and tropical band stations and things like that? No. Is there stuff that you can still DX? Yeah. Yeah, you can. On the AM side, we need to slow our roll. We need to slow our roll about, and I talk about this at length in my column this month in the Spectrum Monitor, so I don't want to give away too much. But we need to slow our roll a little bit when it comes to this doom and gloom mentality that AM is dead, there's nothing to hear, there's no point in DX. No, stop. There's plenty of DX out there. Ask Barry about his 1,950 stations he's heard over the last several years. Ask him about that. How he went from 0 to 1950 in the course of, what was it, 4 years, 5 years, Barry? or maybe it was a small number to 1950. Ask our DXers who have submitted more than 70,000 AM DX logs since 2021. We're approaching, I'm sorry, it's more than that. It's like 90,000 now, isn't it? Where are we at with the master spreadsheet here? I should know this number off the top of my hand, shouldn't I? Once this loads. Ask our DXers who have submitted logs since 2021 in these frequency challenges about, are there any is there anything to hear on AM? And I'm just talking AM here. I'm not even including the FM stuff. It's 30. I was way off. It's 35,000. Still, 35,000 logs have been submitted. Almost 4,700 unique stations. So it's there's still 4,700 unique stations that have been logged since 2021, with receptions up to 8,200 miles submitted. And that's just what we've had come in. During that week, there's a lot of stuff people hear outside of the challenges that never make it to the challenge because, they hear it on a frequency when we're not on that frequency, or, that week we're doing just U.S. states, but they heard a station in Zimbabwe or whatever it might be. So I wholly reject this idea that AMDX is dead or dying. I want to say it was 20. I forget what year it was. We had a peak, and it's been since the number started with a 2. Okay, since we had the highest number of stations ever in the AM band. We're starting to see some of that thin out a little bit. You know what that means? It means there's less clutter. That means there's more opportunities for people to DX. If you're sitting in a market where you had a local on a frequency and that station goes away, now you have a DX opportunity. Now, that means less people can maybe hear that station or that area that you're in. Like when KDWN went off the air in Las Vegas, that sucked because that was like an opportunity for a lot of us to get Vegas and Nevada. But does that mean that Nevada's off the table? No. Jacob up in Minnesota hears Nevada. And a lot of folks out west, obviously, but then other folks too. I'm saying all this to say, if there are people that you see, and social media is the worst for this. Social media is the worst, and I found myself getting caught up in it sometimes. I had to stop. I had to take some time away from social media because of this. If you see people who are just beaten down, AMDX is done. They don't QSL anymore. There's nothing to hear anymore. Invite them to DX Central Live on Friday nights. Invite them to come join us. Invite them to take part in our frequency challenges. I openly welcome anyone to do that. Please call their bluff. Because I know I'm preaching to the choir, because you guys that are watching right now, you know what the deal is with AMDX. You know that it's thriving right now. There's probably never been any better time to be an AMDXer than right now. Now, were there times when you could hear further and like you could, sit in Maine and hear California? Yeah, because there was like 3 stations on a frequency, and one of them was in California, right? So there was that. But now with SDRs and all the different things that we're doing with antennas now, that people are building with all their antennas, and the online resources and Kiwi online receivers and live streams and everything else that we have at our disposal, has there been a better time to be an AMDXer? Don't even get me started on FM. And Nick Langan actually, I love when this happens, Nick actually did an article in the Radio World issue that just came out talking about RDS autologging, and he had a statement in his article where he was talking about how it's a kind of a double-edged sword. You got all these stations on FM now as the band's becoming more and more crowded. You got all these stations, so you have more to DX, and you have better resources and technology than ever before. So in many ways, it's a golden age of DX. But at the same time, because the band is so jam-packed, it's becoming harder to DX in some cases because you don't have an open frequency. AM doesn't work that way. With FM, if you got a strong local, you have to have a stronger signal to overtake it. AM, they can mix. I can sit here and listen to Argentina on 870 AM when I have WWL in my backyard. I can do that on AM. But now we're seeing these stations start to clear out a little bit, thin things out a little bit. Now we have more DX opportunities. So there you go. If you have anybody that you see, I beg you, if you see anyone on social media saying AMDX is done for, it's dead, call it a day, don't even waste your time, I beg you, please invite them to our live stream. Please invite them to join us on our challenges. I want to change their mind, because once they actually sit down, and I think that they have a perception, but they're not actually putting in the work that you guys are. They're not putting the time in behind the dials that you guys are, because you know the truth. Yes, there is plenty of stuff to still hear on the AM dial, domestically and internationally. My soapbox, I relinquish the rest of my time on that subject. Moving on in our shout-outs here. John Johnson in Arizona, 2 new loggings this week while collecting stations for the Frequencies Challenge. WJAG 780 in Norfolk, Nebraska was all alone on 780 one morning with no sign of normal Sedona, Arizona, and Reno, Nevada as regulars. This is my 16th log from Nebraska. Then a couple of days later, KSGL 900 in Wichita was all alone on 900. I got the hiccups all of a sudden. This is my 22nd Kansas station logged from Mesa, Arizona, now totaling at 932 stations heard from Mesa, Arizona, guys. Once again, thanks for the DX challenge as I discover new loggings. My man. He actually wrote me an email I saw, and I haven't responded back yet, John. I just saw it this evening when I got off of work, but I will respond. He made a comment in his email. He's talking about how this has been one of the most difficult challenges to get all these frequencies kind of maxed out on their quota. This has been one of the most difficult. But, and I know Mexico Mike was talking about this in Slack, uncovering stuff has awakened the logbook. So, John, we give you the old log saw. There you go. All right, well done. And he's got a clip here as well. That's from our other one here from Stephanie. We're going to get to yours in a bit here, Stephanie, as well. Barry, speaking of. Barry, my man. I was able to knock off 2 items. This is Tennessee. Crossville, Tennessee is where Barry is, for those of you who are not familiar. I was able to knock off 2 items from my bucket list before the season ends. First, on Wednesday morning, I was able to tap into some outstanding gray line propagation in log 774 ABC radio in Melbourne, Australia for another new country. That's country number 39 for our man Barry. Tell me there's nothing to hear on the AMDX. And a new distance record of 9,691 miles. 9,691 miles. The very next morning, I snagged one of the X-band low-powered Australians, 1638 2ME radio in Melbourne at 400 watts. Hey, I couldn't let Tim Trump have all the fun. So now we have 2 DX magnets. Great. The 50-foot by 80-foot right triangle loop has been serving me well so far. He's got it pointed west, by the way. The nulls don't appear to be as deep as a standard Kaz of the same horizontal length. However, and we knew that, Rick Knuth down in Florida did a modeling on the program and saw that the nulls on the backside were not as deep. However, the increased capture area of this loop, now he is got one that's bigger than the design calls for. We'll get back to that in a second. 227 total feet of wire. Definitely seems to be pulling in the weak signals, which is what I was aiming for in this antenna. So he's got a 50-foot high by 80-foot long on the bottom, horizontal. That's about a foot off the ground or so. The design that Bruce Conti put out was for a 40-foot by 60-foot. And then you figure your hypotenuse. I just like saying hypotenuse. So you have the vertical piece, the hypotenuse, and then the base wire that goes along the bottom. He's got a 50-foot by 80-foot base wire. So he's got more capture area. And as my father always told me, more wire in the air means more signals on your radio. So he is proof positive. A lot of times, and I mentioned this in Slack, a lot of times we get caught up in, well, the design says I should stick to a 1-to-4 ratio for this CAS. I did it myself. I was guilty of this. The design says a 1-to-4 ratio. So if I'm going to keep that, then if I have a 20-foot high, I need an 80-foot long CAS. I can only do 70 feet. It's not going to work. No. Don't do that. My man Barry's living proof of this, because he just goes out and says, well, I can get up to 50 foot high, and that's more gain, and I can do 80 feet on the base, and I'll just connect everything up, and boom, let's try it out. Or, hey, I'm going to try this out with a high Z amplifier as compared to a hand-wound transformer or one of those other options. Let's just see if it works. If it works, great. If it doesn't, oh well, right? He just goes out and builds it. He just puts it up in the air and let's see what happens. And then he gets Australia, including a 400-watt station from Australia. Tell me there's nothing to hear on the AM band anymore. Come on. New country for our friend Barry. We're stamping the passport this evening. He says, I just put as much wire up in the air as I have room for. My man. We can get caught up a lot of times on dimensions. Just as high as you can get it, as long as you can get it. Here's the design of what it looks like. Make this shape. Put your stuff over here and that stuff over there. Make it as big as you can and try it out. See how it goes. The modeling might say this or that. It's going to do, if it's really big, you might pull down the resonance, not even resonance because these are nowhere near resonant, but the portion of the band that it's most sensitive at might go a little bit lower if it's really, really big. If it's a little bit smaller, it might be the higher end of the band. You might adjust that. It might impact your back end nulls if you're doing a terminated loop. But, as Barry has pointed out, the back end null may not be as good, but it's really good at pulling in weak signals, like a 400-watt station from Australia. So that's a new goal achieved for him as well, by the way. There's Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie. And, of course, the log saw for our friend Barry. 2 stations from Australia. 774 and 1638. Outstanding. Outstanding. Brief little windows. You have tiny little windows to get those stations down under. But with a little bit of patience, a little bit of persistence, and a little bit of luck, and a little bit of determination, and a good antenna, you too can do that. While we got Stephanie in here, let's go ahead and do hers. We have 2 clips from Stephanie in here as well. While many of my fellow DXers, this is Stephanie in California, Palm Desert, out in the desert at the hacienda, the radio hacienda. While many of my fellow DXers have been toiling away in the latest challenge, I finally got around to completing my Jaguar and WaveView DX analysis of my March recordings with a specific focus on the split frequencies across the Pacific. You can see where this is going. While our antenna setups are very different, I always monitor what Nick Hall-Patch and Walt are hearing from British Columbia on the coast on the IRCA reflector, as it gives me an idea of what conditions are likely to be. Granted, our antennas are very different, but their almost daily reports always provide great intel on conditions to Australia, Asia, and New Zealand. Absolutely. I used to do this when I was younger. I used to just go through the DX Club bulletins, and I would make a target list. If people were hearing it, especially if they were kind of near me, if they were hearing it, I was going to hear it. And that was what I would just religiously look for, certain things. I still do this to this day, incorporating like Slack channel and stuff like that in there. But if someone's hearing it, I've got a shot. So guess what? This weekend, my Super Loop's going to be flipped out to the west, and we're going to be setting up some recordings looking for Australia. Sense the theme? Granted, This has resulted in seven new logs from China and Japan combined, and most importantly, puts me over the 600 total logs milestone from the Radio Hacienda, now at 604 stations, since moving to the desert in 2019. With these logs, I'm now at 6 logs for Japan, 3 for China, 1 each for Korea and Taiwan, bringing my Trans-Pacific total to 11 and counting. Here we go. Starting with 594 Japan. This is JOAK, NHK Radio 1. Fair with males conversing in Japanese. 300 kilowatts, 5,561 miles. 774 Japan. JOUB, NHK Radio 2. Good with English language study program with male and female pronouncing words and phrases in English. 500 kilowatts, 5,395 miles. We have a clip for that one. 1179 Japan, JOOR, MBS Radio, poor but there with male speaking in Japanese, 50 kilowatts, 5,814 miles. 1206, these are frequencies I'm mentioning off here. 1206 China. This is a story of radio, Jiangsu Story Radio, steady with male speaking in Chinese, telling a story with musical interludes noted. Have a clip for that one as well. That's 6,656 miles, 50 kilowatts. And I apologize if I butcher the pronunciation on that one, or any of these others that are coming. We also have on 1206 in China, the Yanbian Korean News. This is YJB, is a station. Yanbian Korean News and General Radio Music Program, noted with male and female speaking in what's presumed to be Korean. 200 kilowatts, 5,708 miles. And we continue. Scroll down. 1314 Japan, JOUF Radio Osaka. Fair with female speaking in Japanese with piano music noted as well. 5,809 miles, 50 kilowatts. 1422 Japan, Yokohama, JORF Radio Nippon. Fair to poor with male and female speaking Japanese, 50 kilowatts, 5,578 miles. So we've got all kinds of amazing stuff coming in for Stephanie. And we've got 2 clips to play here. Let's play our first one. This is Japan. This was, I think, NHK Radio 2. Yep, on 774. I mean, that's definite. That's absolute definite. That's not like I'm getting a little audio splatter from an adjacent frequency. That is audio on 774. That's clear. Here's the China Story Radio. Same. That's a clear signal. And guess what? I mentioned earlier people that talk about shortwave being dead. You want to try your hand at some shortwave type receptions? Come on down to AM. Come on down. If you're watching this live stream, either live or on the replay, and maybe you used to do some shortwave radio and you really miss doing the tropics, let me tell you what, I've got great news for you. You can do some really good country hunting on AMDX. There's Stephanie proving it. China, Japan. She's got some Koreans in there too. Barry getting Australia. People, I heard Argentina this week. They're there. They're there. Well done, my friend. So we've got some hardware here to hand out for you, I believe. Starting with a new milestone achieved by getting over the 600 log count. Which Charles in San Diego brings up a good point. West Coast DX is not easy. You know, we have on the East Coast, we have sometimes a bit of a forgetfulness that, oh wow, it's 54. We forget sometimes on the East Coast, in the central part of the country, how many stations we have in our area, how dense it is as far as stations to hear. Out west, they don't have that. They don't have the density of stations, so their numbers come a little slower than the East Coast folks, but the stuff they get is fantastic, and the distances they hear is just amazing. I mean, transatlantic is one thing. You're talking, 3,000-4,000 miles tops if you're really getting in deep. Here, you're talking 5,000-6,000 miles. There you go. There you go. We got a whole bunch of shout-outs to get to here in round 2 in the next hour. Stuart, Rick, Sean, Aiden, Matt, Dennis, all of you guys, we're going to get you here in round 2 after in this next hour. But first, I want to do some DX. Let's stop talking about it. Let's start being about it. This DX session brought to you by the National Radio Club, nationalradioclub.org. Go there now and get your membership going. Let's take a look and see if we can hear some of this international stuff we're talking about. Let's just see how the band sounds here on our Southern Kaz. Let's go check 1510.
Let's for a second talk about budgeting basics, because this is something that, most people...
Barry says it. Density of stations can be a blessing because you have a lot more to log. It can be a curse because it blocks the DX you really want sometimes, which is what we're dealing with on the FM side of things a lot of times these days.
And what you hope to have at the end of that is margin, right? We hope that we can find a number that's in the positive.
So I got a station underneath WLAC here that's probably Ecuador, probably Radio Monumental.
If for some reason you have not done a budget, you need to do that.
That sounds like them.
What you're going to find is you're either going to have a number in the red that is, oh my gosh, I'm over budget. No wonder I've been using a credit card. No wonder I've been paying for my savings. Or you're going to surprise yourself and you're going to go, wait a second. If I actually have any...
Yeah, that's Ecuador. That's them. That's Monumental.
Real cash at my disposal at the end of every month.
Let's just take a listen really quick at 1090.
It's just kind of a guessing game of like, I'll do a little here, a little...
Oh, we've got so much KAAY nowadays. They're so dominant now. I'm really glad we got as much Peru as we did before they went and fixed their stuff up. Their transmitter is crushing it now. Let's look at 810 and see, do we have Bahamas or do we have Colombia? This will tell me everything I need to know. Colombia! Yes, Carl, we are. Last day will be the next week. So they're not super strong yet because we're just now getting to sunset. But there's Caracol Radio Bogota on 810. I don't hear Bahamas, so we're getting a little bit of a deeper Latin American night tonight. Which means I should go to 770 and expect to hear RCN Radio or La FM, whatever they're calling themselves these days. That's Colombia. We got some high noise tonight.
DX Central Live top of the hour alert.
Top of the hour means we're looking for IDs. We just had a FAMA ID here on 770, giving us a glimpse into Columbia. Let's take a look now. Let's just move around a bit. 780. And we're looking at this because the BZ is in a good spot right now. Negative 4.2 BZ. A is 6, K is 2. So not super strong, but that negative BZ is encouraging. Columbia, Radio Viva. Radio Viva.
Office and the staffers were there, and I had never spoken with myself, and we sat around the table.
Now this Spanish station right here on 800, once I get rid of my local, this is PJB in Bonaire.
El tema de este día, mi amable oyente, lo he titulado Guerra Espiritual. Guerra Espiritual. Seguimos nuestro estudio, para mí muy emocionante, espero que para usted también, en 2 de Corintios, capítulo 10. Y vamos a hablar no tan solo de guerra espiritual, sino de defensa espiritual. Estamos en los versículos 3 y 4 y dice lo siguiente: aunque andamos en la carne, o sea, en este cuerpo humano, no militamos según la carne. O sea, aunque andamos en este cuerpo que está formado de carne, no peleamos, no somos militares espirituales que actúan según la carne, o sea, según los impulsos bajos de una naturaleza caída. ¿Por qué? Versículo 4. Pues porque las armas de nuestra milicia, de nuestro ejército, no son carnales.
I was just going back and looking in the chat, see if I missed anything. You have ZS3 dominating on 810. Let's go listen. See if we have anything from them coming in. They might be coming in a little bit. Them and Columbia together is not a bad thing. Now, here's a topic that's been very popular on social media. Cuba! There is Radio Rebeldi. Rebeldi is in there. I wonder if we're getting a little something on the band. I'm hearing some attenuation. Our SNR is at 23 dB right now on the shortwave Central Kiwi. That's low for this time of night. It's usually closer to 26, 27 this time of night. We might be getting a little something. I wonder who the salsa is here on 1180 because it's not the AM Rebellion. It might be their FM outlet. But it also could be somebody else. Hey, Matthew. Good question. Let me ponder that for a minute. You talking AM or FM? The AM from there should be fun. And if the Tropo gets going, the FM could be fun too. It was the top of the hour alert. Before I had an actual siren here in the shack. We would do our little top of the hour alert little thing, and he started doing the red lights because I would make everything red for top of the hour. He started doing the red siren things in the chat, and then I bought the siren light here in the shack. Ah, this is what fell. Yeah, that was the Wellbrook amplifier fell, and then Mario fell, and then mic flags started falling, and the Jeep was about to come off the shelf. It was a whole Rube Goldberg going on over here. Yeah, Matthew, I'll get to you on that. Let me ponder that for a bit. It should be pretty good. You should have a really good view of Central America down there. I put a link here in the chat. That might be Radio Marti. TV DX is dead, you say? You sure about that? That's everything that I've heard on my autologger, my TV autologger from here in Mandeville. That I don't know if that's Marty or if that's the FM Rebellion. It's one of the two. So, who knows? All right, let's do a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna do some more DX. We're gonna talk about some e-skip because e-skip's already started. Not here in the States, as you would expect, but e-skip has already started. It's going right now. Well, has been going this week in Europe. They're already getting stuff. So, what does that mean for us? If anything, we'll talk about it. Be right back.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. DX Central Live is brought to you in part by
the International Radio Club of America gives DXers incredible value by putting important station information right at your fingertips. The club's e-publication, the DX Monitor, includes DXer loggings, station information updates, international loggings, and more. Other club publications include the IRCA Mexican Log, a must-have resource for any DXer that chases stations from Mexico, the TIS-HAR list, the IRCA slogan list, sunset sunrise maps, and DXer technical guides. The joint IRCA-NRC email reflector and groups.io group is a hub for real-time DX conditions, station news, and DX-related conversation. For more information, visit ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org. From long wave to satellites, medium wave through HF, ham radio to scanners. If you can DX it, the Spectrum Monitor has you covered. Editor and publisher Ken Reitz has assembled a who's who of radio writers to share their knowledge and expertise from a wide range of DX-related topics. Each month, the Spectrum Monitor's columnists dive into their specialties to give readers tips, tricks, the latest news and station updates, and more. The Spectrum Monitor also provides a monthly assortment of feature articles that give in-depth insight into the past, present, and future of DXing. You can get a full year of the Spectrum Monitor for only $24. Individual issues from the current year are available for $3 each. You can also purchase previous years of the Spectrum Monitor in their entirety for as low as $12. For more information, visit thespectrummonitor.com. That's thespectrummonitor.com. For more than 90 years, the National Radio Club has been at the forefront of providing DXers with the latest in station news, DX-related technical information, and reception reports from DXers around the world. The NRC's AM radio log is the most expansive and detailed resource of station information for U.S. and Canadian radio stations that is available in any format. The club's publication, the DX News, is available in both print and electronic format and provides the latest information on call letter and format changes, construction permits, and other information to help keep DXers informed of the latest updates they may hear on the air. For more information, visit their website at nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org.
Can't get enough DX? Then the DX Central from the Static podcast is for you. Take DX Central on the go and listen to episodes from DX Central Live, interviews with prominent members of the DX community, tips, tricks, how-tos, your DX memories and stories. And that's just the start. You can find the From the Static podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, or anywhere you get podcasts, or by visiting FromTheStatic.net. That's FromTheStatic.net. For stories, signals, and voices from across the airwaves, don't miss the DX Central From the Static podcast.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
Yeah, Africa to the world. Listen to the air. Yeah. I look for the station.
He looks for the station.
A distant nation.
A distant nation.
But the wall is high.
The wall is high.
Between me and the sky.
From the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
It's DX Central Live from the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana. I'm just going to back off and let you guys hear this one. I think when I did this one, yes, that's exactly who I was thinking of when I made this song. I was thinking of Fela Kuti. I have a couple tracks that I made that day that are equally as groove-tastic. So awesome, man, so awesome. All right, let's talk a bit about some e-skip. I know now next month we are really going to be switching gears pretty wholeheartedly into the FM world. We'll still do AM stuff. We'll still do a little AMDX and talk about AMDX and things like that. But we're really going to be prepping and doing a lot of prep work and talking about FMDX and doing some FMDX. I'm hopeful that the conditions, the tropo down here, will cooperate with us for that. Radio made a junk that works. Oh, I know. I think I know which one you're talking about, Stuart. I think I know which one you're talking about. I'll have to go back and find it. I think I know which one you're talking about. But yeah, hopefully the Tropo will cooperate next month for us. But there are some folks already dining on the... What fell? Mario fell. Mario jumped off the on-air light over here. There are some folks right now who are already dining on E. Our friends over in Europe. Now, I want you to notice something about this. That's a lot of logs. That's almost 2,000 logs. That would be a banner day here in the States. If we had a day anywhere in the season that had 1,877 logs reported, they'd be like, we're all eating, right? This is like July 4th type stuff, right? July 4th was more than this, but we're all eating. Everyone's getting in on the action kind of thing. And you see, it's just this one little part, this one little region here on the map. The big reason that they get so many more logs than we do, these big, massive numbers, look at the DXer contributor count up there, 55. We might have 100 on a season, 80, 90, 100 on the season. this is 55 DXers. Just it's not even counting all the people over in France and Spain and England. England's got a ton of FMDXers. Up into the Scandinavia, they've got a ton of FMDXers. This is just right here in this one little part, right in there. They are getting some absolutely phenomenal e-skip, and 55 people have entered logs. Now, I've talked a bit about this. I'm not gonna soapbox this one, I promise. But I am gonna say one little thing. I am now of the opinion I want to make sure that when there is an opening that I am sharing my information about that opening with as many people as I possibly can to help other people be able to get into that opening and get DX, right? I think that's a common goal that we can all get behind, right? Is that I don't want to just keep the DX for myself. There's no point. There's no point in me keeping the DX for myself. I want other people to get on the DX because then we have something to talk about. If it was just me up there going, and I got this station and I got this station, and everyone else was like, well, I didn't get anything. I didn't get squat. It's so much more fun when it's like, yeah, and I got this one. Oh, yeah, well, I got that one too. Oh, man. It's so much more fun when we all get DX. So you've heard me say before, I want to make sure that I have all the tools in my toolbox to get DX. If that means I need an amplifier, if it means I need to have this resource, like this map or this logging program or this kind of SDR. I want to have whatever antenna or amplifier, whatever it is. I don't want there to be a situation where I was like, well, I would have gotten that if I this, but I don't have that. That's where I start kind of like getting very antsy. So I want to put all the tools in my toolbox that I can put in there. So when it comes to online logging, that means FM list and WLogger, WTFDA. I'm making a concerted effort this year to make sure that when I have an opening that I'm doing both. I'm doing WLogger and I'm doing FM list. Now I know some people are like, I don't have time for that. No, I get it. I understand. But and part of that's because for me, the live DX is part of it because I'm kind of mapping out where everything is. I'm mapping out the MUF, I'm mapping out the paths and all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of bouncing on my open frequencies. But then I know I'm recording the band and I'm going to go back and review it later on. So from my standpoint, I have a little bit of a different view than probably most folks are going to, where they're trying to squeeze out every ounce of DX during that live event because that's for them, that's the main thing. And I get that. But I think WLogger and FM list both serve a very, very good purpose for the FMDX community. I don't personally see any reason to limit to just one or the other. Especially now, let me put it this way. If everyone was using WLogger and we had access to all of the data, like not just my own data, that's fine. I have my own data. But if we could pull everyone's data and do some actual real data analysis around everyone's logs, I'd be a little more on that. But right now, FM List is the only one that gives me access to everything whenever I need to. It's also a little easier, I feel like, and more relevant. Where WLogger is really great at live, like right now, and so is FM List because alerts and things like that. I don't see as much benefit for me to be posting WLogger logs on my recordings. You know, if I'm going back in, like right now I'm doing August 13th of last year, I don't really see a need for me to go to WLogger right now and report all that. I do on FM List because that's going to give me that map. That's going to give me the map and all the different analysis stuff that I can do with that. So my point is, when we're doing our DX this year, my ask is, and we'll do more of this in the coming month as we kind of get closer to the season starting. But as we kind of think about FM this year, really take some time to get used to all those different interfaces to WLogger and to FM List, so you're nice and comfortable doing that during a big event. Okay, we're going to do some practice on that next month. We're going to do some practice on WLogger and FM List next month. So be ready for that. But wink, wink, hint, hint, nod, nod. We're going to do some practicing on both WLogger and FM List next month for our challenge. Hint, hint, nod, nod. Okay, but go ahead and get used to those interfaces. Go ahead and get used to going in there and putting those logs in, and then how to use those tools after the fact. The maps, the analysis that you can do and stuff like that. And then for people like me, who I'm going in, I'm taking all of our logs that we have in FM Listen, I'm doing a large analysis across the board. That helps me. That just helps me, which then in turn helps the community, helps all of us out. Because then I can do things like I can put together the eCloud heat map, which some of you guys have seen, but not everybody has seen it yet. Oh my goodness, when I release this, you guys are going to love it, because you can actually see not just like I have the heat map that shows where the DX is, like what areas are most commonly heard. And I have the heat map that shows the DXers, where are they reporting from. But I've never seen a heat map that shows where the clouds are at, the midpoint between the DXer and the DX. Where does the cloud actually form? We have that now. Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Let's do some more shout-outs. Yep.
Shout out loud, hear the call for every single big or small, from AM to FM, from C to C. We celebrate the ones who slag the IT. Shout out loud, let it be known, you're never DXing all alone. Through the static we found our way. Shout outs making waves today.
Stuart, really? I'm going to have to check that out. I did not know they had that. I'll have to go look for that. That's ignorance on my part. Will there be an FM grid chase this season? Yeah. Yeah, there will. We're going to do that for the Summer of DX. You bet your bippy. And some other little things that I'm planning on throwing in there. Alrighty. Shout out time. We're going to offer you again, if you want to get your shout out in, if you haven't done so already, dxchallenges.com/shout out. You still got time to get yours in. We'll be reading ours out later on this hour because we did have some fun stuff this week. Let's start with our friend Dennis up in Virginia. Dennis had himself a haul. Remember we talked earlier last hour about how there's still stuff to DX? It's not dead. There's still stations out there. Well, let's hear Dennis's case. 1490. Didn't have the call letters on this one, but Ohio in 1490. 1430 WKOX in Everett, Massachusetts. Again, he's in Virginia. 1420 WBSM in New Bedford, Mass. 1470 WWNN in Pompano Beach, Florida. Pompano? 1390 WXSS in Waite Park, Minnesota. Now, that's not fair. 1360 WHNR, Cypress Gardens, Florida. WCRK, Morristown, Tennessee, 1150. I remember those guys. WHDD in Sharon, Connecticut, 1060. WJKY, Jamestown, Kentucky, 1060. 1340 WYBC in New Haven, Connecticut. 1000 WHNY in Paris, Tennessee. 1300 WAVZ in New Haven, Connecticut. 1250 WZOB in Fort Payne, Alabama. 1480 WZRC in New York. 1540 WOGR in Charlotte. 990 KWAM in Memphis, Tennessee. 940 WECO in Wardsburg, Tennessee. 900 WURD in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, PA. 860 WSBS in New Barrington, Mass. And 700 WZOO in Asheboro, North Carolina. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 states in 1 week for our friend Dennis. Just all the new stuff that he's grabbed. New logs from 11 different states. That's amazing. That's really, really fantastic. So let's go ahead and saw some logs for our friend Dennis. I guess I'm still up on that screen there, so we have to put this over here. And now we do that. Aha. I must have missed that. I thought that was just for yourself, Stuart. On the archive, I thought it was just your own logs. But if it's everybody's, I might do something with that and try to incorporate that into our analysis. That's really, really cool. because then I get more of a complete picture. Well done, Dennis. Fantastic, my friend. Matt Sattel in Kansas. Man, this guy's crushing it, isn't he? On the frequency challenge, have you seen the points? Have you seen the log this guy's doing? He's just crushing it. Well, he's got a shout out here. My first New Mexico log via Trapo on. From this QTH logged on March 26th. So he's doing all this stuff on the AM side, but his first shout outs for FM Trapo. Love it. March 26, 2026 at 9:17 Central Time, 587 miles, using an AirSpy HF Plus Discovery, an 11-element Inov antenna roof-mounted beast. I think that's the 11 elements, probably the Yagi, right? This was definitely unexpected. I was receiving Woodward, Oklahoma, and Liberal, Kansas along a similar bearing, but I couldn't figure out where this 107.1 was that was coming in weekly. I couldn't find any obvious targets in the southwest Kansas area or western Oklahoma, so I started thinking about perhaps the Texas Panhandle, maybe? Surprise! B107, the Blaze. And he's got a nice little clip here for us. So let's, here you go. Come on, load it up. It's thinking. It's deciding if it wants to. It's not playing. Sorry, Matt. It's not playing, my friend. Check him out. I think you had it in the Slack channel. Check him out there if you want to hear that clip of the Blaze out of New Mexico. Well done, my friend. So we're going to get you... Actually, was that... my first Trapo via New Mexico via Trapo. That's what it was. So we're going to start off with the log. There you go, my friend. Well done. Well done. Over here crushing it on the AM side. His shout-outs, FM Trapo. The lure of FM is real, my friends. If AMDX is like a good drug, FMDX is like some I don't know drugs. You guys probably know more about drugs than I do, because y'all are a bunch of degenerates. It's like super drug. We'll put it that way. Aiden over in the chat right now, bub. I know I haven't submitted shout outs in a while, and that's because I've been taking a break from DX. Hey, we all need to do that every once in a while. I've been doing it every day for 5 months. That's break worthy, for sure. Here's some FM logs, though, from this month, with a couple of AM logs from February and March, though, as well. So 920 WRA in Quantico, Virginia, 407 miles. My second log on 920, my first beside CKNX, due to a local on 910, creating lots of splash on 900 920. 98.9 CHCD in Simcoe, Ontario. That is 98.9 MyFM with their C3FB PI code, RDS decode there. 98.1 CKLO in London, Ontario. Classic Rock 98.1. 1320 WFHR in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. 356 miles, oldies format heard, because Old Pest CJMR left AM earlier this year. There you go. And 107.3 WJUC in Swanton, Ohio. Hip-hop station I somehow never got before, he says. No, it's short, but since once Trapo season's in full swing here, I'll do some more DX. Also, supposedly weather radio in Canada shut down a week or two ago, but I can still hear the Windsor outlet on 162.475 alive and well, even though the website has it as decommissioned. Yeah, that's interesting. You'll have that on the NDBs on long wave as well. They're like, oh yeah, they're all gone, and then you go down there and you're like, nope, they're still there. There's some of them that left and came back. So that's how that happens sometime. New Wisconsin log for our friend Aiden. And he got some new logs, so we got to go in there and saw some wood. There you go. All right, well done, Aiden, my friend. And definitely, we all have to take a break from DX every once in a while to give our ears a rest. I am starting, and we're going to talk about this next week. My first little thing that I'm doing to prepare for FMDX season is I'm reviewing this August 13th recording of this massive e-skip opening that we had. I'm trying to get my ears retrained to e-skip, and I'm going through my process to make sure I got everything down right with my navigator waterfall over here and my RDS spy over here, making sure everything is working. Like, I'm trying to make sure that I got everything exactly the way it needs to be so that I can be ready once e-skip season starts. I want to get into e-skip mode now by using these old recordings. Hint. Sean Kutsko in Illinois. Another good week of snagging stations for the challenge. It was 8 new ones in the log this week, thanks to several extended auroral conditions that showed up. WKCU 1350 in Corinth, Mississippi at 357 miles. WPEH 1420 in Louisville, Georgia, 587 miles. WLMR 1450 in Chattanooga, 385 miles. Yeah, see? Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi, all the Florida, South Carolina, all these this is auroral for you guys, right? This is what happens. Is you're going to get all this stuff down my way. WGES 680 St. Pete, Florida, 904 miles. They're only 800 watts, by the way. WLTQ 730 in Charleston, South Carolina, 682 miles. I used to live like right next to their tower when I was there. HIBS 670 San Pedro de Macors. I'm probably butchering that. I know I'm butchering that. Dominican Republic, 1,874 miles. WXEM 1460 in Beaufort, Georgia, 485 miles. And WTLN 990 Orlando, 884 miles. Also had a very, very close call. Tim Trump alerted us on Wednesday morning that carriers from Oceania were coming in. Sure enough, I had a very, very strong carrier from 5 kilowatt Gold Sport 1503 AM from Wellington, New Zealand. I listened to the recording from both my audio and the audio from Wellington Kiwi on 1503, but I just didn't have enough audio to make an official log. Nevertheless, I'm obviously very happy at getting this close to logging something more than 8,700 miles away. Good luck to all for the last week of the challenge. It's there, right? He's like, he just needs that little bit of a boost to get them in the logbooks. A little noise to come down a little bit, or the signal to come up a little bit. You'll get there. You're gonna get there, my friend. So we've got a whole bunch of logs here for Sean. Again, I wish there was something for you guys to log on the AM band. There's just no stations. There are just no stations on AM anymore to log. I wish we had more for you guys to hear, because clearly there's not enough DX out there. Stuart, W8SRC in the chat up in Michigan says I received 2 new Tropo logs on FM this week. The first is from the unexpected Saturday afternoon opening that netted me my second ever reception of 103.7 WFIU in Bloomington, Indiana at 260 miles, and the second was during the minor opening on Tuesday morning. Also had a repeater of WGTE 90.9 WGBE in Bryan, Ohio, 71 miles over top of a local, and Relevant Radio 106.3 WRDF in Columbia City, Indiana at 110 miles. Nothing new on AM this week, however, did come across someone playing a familiar Bruno Mars song on 710 during the Gray Line period this past Sunday night. I was excitedly tempted to log it as WROM, my favorite AM station, but their stream and playlist were not working at the time. Bummer. I took a look at their playlist for the past week as well as this week, and there was unfortunately no match. So I didn't log them, hoping to at least get a few new logs this coming week before I put away my AM radio until next season. Put a pause on that put away. We're going to talk about that as we get to next week. Don't put away. Don't put away your AM. Let's not do that. You might focus on FM. Let's not put away the AM. Let's just bear with me on that one. I especially thought that Lloyd would like to know. I'm in the process of putting all my 2025 logs, including e-skip receptions, into FM list. My man! I hope the e-skip logs will be included as Lloyd's in Lloyd's data set if he wants to include them. Once I'm done putting them in, I can't wait to use FM list as well as continuing to use WLogger. See? to log notable catches this coming season. There's no law that says you have to use one or the other. Use them both. Everybody wins. Because there are people who only do one or the other. I don't know why, but there are people who only do one or the other. And so if you do both, you're more likely to reach more people and get more people DXing. There you go. Log time for our friend Stuart. There you go. And I'm going to do another little, just a little, for your great Tropo logs there, my friend. Well done. And for using both FM List and WLogger. And yes, I do need to, I have not pulled in the 2025 logs yet into the master data set. I was going to wait until I got my August 13th recording review done before I did that, but I'll give that a little time. I want to probably get it in probably before May 1st, if I can. But you know, if you have some stuff that you put in after that, I can always go back and get it and just grab it and put it in and do stuff. So, not a worry. Our friend Rick in Nebraska checks in. Hello, Lloyd. Just 2 new logs on AM this week to report, but they're both graveyarders. And I need to thank Ethan Hester for the assist on these 2 half-court shots that went in and allowed me. Hey, it's March Madness. That's a perfect illusion that you have there. A little pun. 2 half-court shots that both went in and allowed me to get new logs. Sunday evening of this week, I logged WAOV 1450 in Vincennes, I'm guessing, Indiana, at 2015 Central Daylight Time, and then WMUN 1340 in Muncie, Indiana, 18 minutes later. Both were heard relaying severe thunderstorm warnings replete with EAS tones, and they matched what was listed on the severe storm warnings URL from the College of DuPage's website. And also, I know Ethan's really good about decoding those tones on the EAS alert as well. My total of graveyarders here that have been heard in South Omaha is now sitting at 135. My man Rick's got 135 stations on graveyard frequencies from Omaha, Nebraska. Yowza. So we got some logs to solve for our friend Rick. Well done, my friend. Well done. All right. You can still get your challenge, your shout out in, rather. DXChallenges.com. That's the word I was looking for. DXChallenges.com/shout out. You can get your stuff in if you are so inclined. If you have something to share, go ahead and get it in. We'll get you read here before we adjourn today. Let's go ahead and do our shout outs for this week because we had an eventful week. It's been nice. Now we haven't had a whole lot on the AM side that's new. We did rehear Argentina. That was nice to put them back in the log again. But nothing new on the AM side other than that, that relog of Argentina. But the FM side has been a bit more productive. And so on, let's see what we had this week. If I can get my logbook here. All right. Let me go to the 20th, I guess was the last one. So 97.7 KZAR in Gonzales, Texas. I don't have my distances on this one, on this view. I need to change that and put my distances on this view so I can see that. Noted. I got to update my online logbook. In the meantime, let me go over here and find my actual logbook. KZAR 97.7, that is K-Love in Gonzales. They were auto log via RDS, and that's 462 miles. KKWV American Family Radio on 88.1, Aransas Pass, Texas. Now, I was hearing at the same time I was getting them, I was also getting Florida at the same exact time. So it was one of those cross the Gulf openings that we like around here. 466 miles. Next, we have KKBA in Kingsville, Texas. So a couple Texas stations in here this week. That's 92.7, and that is a Rock 92.7. Also an RDS auto log. That one sitting at 491 miles. But the crown jewel of the week, the absolute best catch that we got from our little Tropo openings that we had this last week was XHPEFB 100.1 FM, Ere FM. And that is in Nuevo Leon. That was a distance, again, 150 watts, 670 miles. No RDSD code on that one. It was kind of weak, as you would imagine. Makes sense. But there they were with that ID coming in at 670 miles, 150 watts. So, yowza. So Texas and some Mexico. There we go. That's what we got. All right, for the rest of our time here today, what do we want to talk about? Let's talk about some more. So we looked at the sporadic E that's been happening over in Europe. Oh, I almost forgot. We did also get some weather DX. I don't want to forget about that. Here is our weather logbook, and I have that under my G Suite. There we go, under Looker Studio. Weather. Here it is. So I've now put my weather logbook up on Looker Studio. So we're now up to 21 stations logged here on the NOAA Weather Radio. All Tropo, mostly, except for a couple. We have 2 locals, but 19 Tropo catches. 595 miles still our further reception. And for this week, what did we get? Well, we had a couple of the new ones. We had KXI 56 on the .525 out of Gonzales, Texas. You can see where that was that same one that got us to the other Gonzales, right? That's the Austin, Texas forecast office. And I had to use our phaser on the RSP Duo. And it was 2 FM antennas. My S antenna, my FM S antenna, and the 9-element Yagi, the Stereo Probe 9. Those 2 into my RSP Duo using diversity mode. I was able to get rid of my local 550 NOAA weather radio station on the .55. Got rid of them and got WXK80 Lafayette, Louisiana. So not earth-shattering, but that's a new one. And that's the Lake Charles forecast office. So we hadn't had them yet because we have a station here in NOLA. I now have 3 stations on .55. The only reason I have those is because of the diversity mode on the RSP Duo. And I don't have. I'm not throwing an FM or a weather radio antenna into that RSP Duo. Those are FM antennas cut for FM. But as we talked about earlier with Barry, just put the antenna up in the air as big as you can and see what happens. I was like, you know what? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Let's try it out. And it worked. And that other one there, the Gonzales that we had on the 525, also with the RSP Duo because of phasing. I had to phase out a station that was there to get rid of that and then get Gonzales. So even if you aren't running an FM antenna, you can still weather DX sometimes not. But try it, at least. See what you get. Let's look at the Tropo forecast as we like to do this time of the year. And let's go to the right now. This was the 7 o'clock hour, right? So this is 10 o'clock. So this will be coming up in the next hour and 15 minutes, right? So this is kind of here. Oh, I went too far. Here to here. All right, so we have some stuff right off the Gulf. Now, there's something that's about to happen. I've talked about this before, that a lot of times when you get a cold front that blows through, what does it do? It stabilizes all the different levels of the atmosphere, and it kills the Tropo. Watch the map. Can you see it? Do you see the front coming through this weekend and just killing our Tropo? It's that nice, big, straight line. If you look right along this line right here, you're going to see it. Boom, 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 boom. It just comes in there like a vacuum cleaner, and it sucks up all the Tropo. And it leaves us with a whole bunch of nothing because the atmosphere is stabilized. It dries out the humidity. We're under like fire danger tomorrow, tomorrow and Saturday here in Louisiana. Probably for a couple of days we will be because it's going to get super, super dry. We're going to lose some humidity, and that is the Tropo buzzkill. So Tropo is going to go bye-bye for a little bit for most of us as we get into this weekend. However, look what's happening up here in the Midwest. We can look into Indiana, Ohio, parts of southern Michigan. It's not earth-shattering. We're talking marginal here. and a little bit of fair in some spots, but there's a little bit of tropo. Maybe a couple frequencies here and there might have a little bit of a staticky signal coming in. And a little bit off the coast of the Carolinas here as well on the backside of that front. Now that's pushing through as we get into, this is Saturday night around 0100 Central Time, 0200 Eastern Time. Now that little fair, marginal, and a little bit of green there. That green is into the moderate now. So we have marginal, fair, and a little touch of moderate right there in the middle. Now pushing into Ohio. And flattening out into parts of Pennsylvania now. So it's just kind of pushing. And then we get to Sunday afternoon. This will be around 1 o'clock Central Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. It's gone. And we have a little bit over here in southeast Louisiana that's kind of marginal in there, but nothing too big for us. Then we'll watch what happens. We get into Sunday night, into Monday morning. This little burst in here into Texas begins to take shape again, as it likes to do this time of the year especially. Then we keep pushing. We'll get this to go again. Here we go. It keeps pushing up. We have a little bit of that fair marginal all the way up the Mississippi Delta Valley, all the way up into Mississippi Delta, pushing up into Arkansas, Tennessee, just right there at Missouri, Illinois. So little bit back here by Omaha, Rick. You might have a little bit of something here. A little bit of tropo here. This is, again, looking at, this is 7 o'clock Central Time on Monday morning. So sunrise Monday morning, you might have a little bit here that you're looking at there in the Omaha area into, I'm probably not bringing you anything crazy or exotic, but maybe some stations that you didn't have before. They're just out of reach of your normal signal reach for local conditions. Then we get into the afternoon here on Monday. It's starting to build back up again down here in the Gulf. A little bit off the coast. You see a little bit of this marginal tropo up here in the Great Lakes. And then we get into the evening hours Monday night going into Tuesday morning. Look who's popping up again. A little bit more of that Nebraska, Omaha, and Iowa, maybe parts of Minnesota, a little bit of South Dakota. So you might have a little bit more tropo here. Again, Monday night, Rick, Monday night into Tuesday morning. This will be around 1 o'clock a.m. Central Time on Tuesday. And you see what's starting to build back down here on the Gulf again. It's starting to rev back up. We've got a little bit of marginal stuff in here into the southeast. Florida's starting to light up a little bit. And we see spots of marginal here and there. And then look at the push here as we get into Tuesday. Now, this is far out. This is now the point where I'm like, okay, this is going to change. This forecast is going to change. So don't, place bets on this. But be aware, you'll want to keep an eye on the forecast here as we go into Tuesday. This is Tuesday morning, around 7 a.m. Tuesday morning. You have a little bit of a bloop right here along that kind of Mississippi Delta area into Arkansas, back into Texas, northwest Louisiana, down into Texas, all the way down towards San Antonio. So boot crew north, you guys might have a nice duct going up in here from Arkansas down into Texas. We might have a little bit right here in our usual suspects in Mississippi. Look at all the fair to marginal stuff here in the southeast. Almost the entire southeast has a little bit, just enough to kind of call it tropo. And then you'll see that start to clear out as we get into the day. And then by the time we get back to the next night, Wednesday morning, Tuesday night, it starts to build back up again. So this is going to be probably as we head into early April, the pattern that we're going to see. You're going to start seeing that daytime burn off. And then the evening is going to come in, and then overnight that's going to stabilize a little bit as the cool air, the cool air that's at the surface starts to warm back up again. And then we get into the morning sunrise hours, and it's going to flare back up again because you've got heating happening at the upper layers of the atmosphere. It's still kind of cool down here at the coolest point it is at the surface. Now that tropos are there again at sunrise. So you're going to have that pattern kind of really pushing, it looks like, as we get into April. Now, this is super far out, but I want you to see what's happening here. Look at this Midwest streak of marginal right now. Right now it's marginal. Will that improve? Will that increase as we get closer? Possibly. A little bit up here in Canada even as well. Look at that. So we're far, far out on those, but it's something to bear watching if you're in that Midwest area. Rick, your neck of the woods, Carolina coasts, keep an eye on this sucker. I'm not seeing anything yet up into New England, but it's still pretty chilly up there. I would not imagine that they have any of that kind of upper atmosphere, upper layers of the troposphere warming up just yet up there. They're getting there, but they're not there yet. Definitely down here in the southeast, though, we're entering that season. So I put the link in there. That's Bill Hepburn's Tropo forecast. You're going to want to start as we now enter late March into early April. You're going to want to start looking at this every day. It updates every day around 1 o'clock Central Time. That's 2 o'clock Eastern, noon Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. Every day, a new forecast will generate. It's 1800 UTC. New forecast will generate, and you get new maps every day at 1800 UTC. So go bookmark this if you haven't done so already. Start keeping an eye on this, because this will tell you if Tropo is likely in your neck of the woods. Let's look out west really fast, because we're coming up on top of the hour again. Let's do a really quick look, though, out west. Here we go, Western North America. We choose that here on our pull-down menu. And let's go to, starting off now, a little bit of a push in here. That we've seen this the last couple of weeks when we looked at this. A little bit of a push in into Northern California and parts of the Pacific Northwest up here. Further south, it's a little more off the coastline. It's just right there. Like if it would just push in a little bit, you'd have pretty awesome Tropo all the frickin' time out in the Southwest out there in California. So there's a little bit that pushed in there tonight into the Northern California, probably the mountains up that way, into the Pacific Northwest. I'm not seeing a whole lot as we go into the rest of the week. Yeah, not seeing a ton here. And that's it. Yeah, so a little bit over the next couple of next 12 hours or so, probably in Northern California, pushing in into the Pacific Northwest. As you kind of see it right about here, this is kind of where it looks like it's kind of peaking right about here. So that's 0600 UTC. So that's what that's 1 o'clock. That's 11 o'clock tonight, your time, Pacific time. 11 o'clock tonight is kind of the peak up in Northern California for some Tropo, maybe a little bit pushing in along the coastline. So you might get a little bit something up the coastline if you're in California. Look north if you're south. Look south if you're north. Look north if you're north. You might get in the Pacific Northwest. So that's the Tropo forecast that's up right now. Let's go ahead and do some more live DX. Let's do this DX session brought to you by the Spectrum Monitor, thespectrummonitor.com. And it's also
DX Central Live Top of the Hour Alert.
All right, we're looking down south. We earlier we had Rebelity coming in. We had Radio Monumental out of Ecuador. We had Caracol Radio on 810. We had Radio Viva Pasto on 780. We had La FAMA down in Colombia on 770. So let's do some more looking around. I'm curious because I keep seeing people on social media say, I don't hear Cuba anymore. Let's look at 530. Well, there's Radio Encyclopedia and Radio Rebelity both, so that's not true. There's both of them. 540? So that's XEWA that's in there, and that's what's causing that little interference pattern that you're hearing there. Is an offset from XEWA. Yeah. That's them. Oh, yeah. You guys get some of that stuff down there by the Baja, don't you? We haven't checked the bottom end of the band yet on our frequency challenge. Matthew, you know, there are some folks who are able to kind of hand jam it to make it work, but no. SDR Sharp is AirSpy. That's their software for their SDRs. They also did it open up for the RTL SDR dongles to encourage people to get into SDRs. Is Relo still on 570, 790, and 930? 570? Not on 570. That's Columbia. 790? Not hearing them. That's Waxy down in Florida. 930, I never really heard them on there, but I did hear them on 950. And they are there.
And I'll grab the Dayflo. Undo your flu symptoms with Dayflo Intense Flu. Dayflo Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms. I'm ready for that to-do list. Wow, you do got this. Dayflo Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, ache, and fever under your flu medicine. Use as directed to keep out of reach of children.
There was an ID in there I was trying to get, but they never ID'd. It was just dead air. 950, we do have Relo on 950. There's my local, WYLD on 940. Not hearing on 930. And I don't know, they've disappeared entirely off 870. There's 920.
You can watch the show live on YouTube. Just search BetMGM tonight and hit that subscribe button. You can watch the show live on Twitter at BetMGM.
Remember the night we were in Paraguay? That was fun.
The Odyssey app, Sirius XM, Channel 375, and hundreds of local affiliates throughout North America. The phone number to join the show, 310-840-4910. That's 310-840-4910. 10 p.m. Eastern, it's the final hour of the show. We always kick it off with the final hour with hot or cold, but before we do that, there are so much sports going on.
Check 910 again.
We've been
Matthew, the AirSpy R2 does 10 megahertz. And we have one here. I use it for FMDX. Or Weather DX, sorry. The 910 that we had here earlier last week was Radio Suyapa out of Honduras. Not hearing them tonight. This used to be San Andres y Providencia, but they are apparently off the air. XEW, Mexico.
Hola vecinos, ¿cómo están? ¿Cómo van los niños en la escuela? Pues muy bien, y les va a ir mejor. Con eso de que ahora vamos a recibir también la beca Rita Cetina. Tel Aviv, that base in Saudi Arabia. This is not the first time the Prince Sultan Air Base has been targeted by Iran. On March 1st, Iran attacked the base.
Here's 640. Radio Progreso. Now, here's what's fun.
And from Wisconsin,
650, I'm not hearing them. There's someone else underneath them, though. That's probably Columbia. Take care, Stephanie. I think that's Columbia underneath Progresso here. La FAM, I believe, is what the network is for that one. Well, that'll put you to sleep. 660. XECPR. Felipe Carrillo, Puerto in Mexico, right there off the Yucatan Peninsula in Quintana Roo. That's an interesting version. 670 Rebelde. Yeah, I still have the wall there. I'm hearing the echo. 680. This should be Columbia. In fact, I can... Yep, that's a parallel 570. That's Columbia, Radio Nacional. Yep.
Seguido por la Armada Nacional con el 26.5%. La Fuerza Aeroespacial Colombiana obtendrá el 10.2%, mientras que la Policía Nacional contará con el 18.3% del presupuesto. El documento contempla inversiones estratégicas destinadas a modernizar capacidades clave del sector defensa, entre ellas la adquisición de sistemas de defensa antidrones, aeronaves para transporte y operaciones estratégicas, embarcaciones y vehículos operativos, así como equipos de inteligencia y tecnología orientados a fortalecer la seguridad. Según el gobierno, la inversión permitirá ampliar la capacidad del Estado para enfrentar fenómenos como el narcotráfico, la acción de grupos armados organizados y otras estructuras criminales que afectan la seguridad en distintas regiones del país.
El gobierno activó el Plan Nacional de Movilidad y Seguridad para la Semana Santa ante la proyección de que más de 15 millones de viajeros se desplacen por el país durante una de las temporadas de mayor movimiento del año en los diferentes modos.
Let's get that ID.
Las autoridades estiman que más de 10 millones de personas se movilizarán por carretera, mientras que alrededor de 4 millones de pasajeros lo harán desde terminales terrestres, con el despacho de cerca de 336.000 vehículos intermunicipales. En el transporte aéreo se prevé el traslado de más de 1.800.000 viajeros, con un promedio superior a 170.000 pasajeros diarios en los aeropuertos nacionales. Para atender la demanda, estarán habilitados 41 corredores concesionados que suman 7.499 kilómetros con el despliegue de más de 6.450 personas en carretera, 700 equipos de emergencia y sistemas de monitoreo en tiempo real. Las autoridades también alertaron sobre las dificultades en la infraestructura vial debido a la temporada de lluvias. Actualmente se reportan 5 cierres totales y 22 parciales en al menos 10 departamentos con mayores afectaciones de Nariño, Antioquia y Santander. Parte de las medidas para garantizar la movilidad y reducir la congestión, el gobierno implementará restricciones a la circulación de vehículos de carga pesada de más de 3,4 toneladas y los principales corredores del país.
Yeah, I don't think an ID here or not. They might have already done it. But let's take a quick look here at our challenge board here for the current challenge. Just kind of see where we're at. You guys are continuing to crush it. 27, just at 2,700 logs here. Submitted just under 1,500 unique stations. I know I said it earlier, and I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I really wish there were some stations on the band that you guys could hear in DX, because my goodness. We got what, 50? Are we actually at 50 states now? Let's take a look. Did we get Maine? No, we did not. So that's probably somebody keyed in Ontario or Mexico. I'll fix that. Countries 12, 5,900 miles for this reception. Our points leader is now Greg. Greg is on top of the points at 13,660 points. Matthew right behind at 12,970. And look at that, Dennis, after last week, making the comment that there was no way to be able to keep up with these guys. 11,800 points from our friend Dennis up in Virginia. 355 logs. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people with more than 300 logs in 2 weeks. 102 quotas met for Greg. 108 for Matthew. Dennis, though, at 110 quotas met. That's almost all of them. I think he's got 6 left. If I remember right, it's 116 total that are there. So I think he's got 6 left to get them all. I've pushed myself right off of this list. I haven't had time to do anything. Neil in there strong. Mexico Mike. Sean right up in there. John Johnson. Stuart. David. Steven. All of you guys just absolutely crushing it with some really good logs. So love to see it. 480 logs. Almost 500 logs for Matthew. Almost 500 logs. Just unbelievable. Look at the countries. Look at what we got here on the countries. There's Japan showing up. Argentina showing up. Colombia, Algeria showing up. We'll have to add some more of those from our side here. Ecuador and some of the Central Americans and stuff like that. We'll have to add some of those in there as well. We do have one here from Nicaragua. I know that was, I think it's Bob. Had Radio Nueva Radio Ya. La Nueva Radio Ya. Love that station. 5,900 miles, Jacob. Taking the mileage crown right now. 5,900 miles for Argentina. Stephanie right behind with the 2 Japans. 5,500 miles, 5,400 miles. Sean right there with Algeria, 4,950. I got my Argentine, 4,922. I don't usually get into the big mileage ones with you guys. I can hold my own with the countries, but the country counts. But the mileage evades me because I'm closer here to some of these Central Americans and South Americans. So the mileage, those really big mileage numbers, I can't keep up with those. So, all right. Next week, we are going to be wrapping up this challenge, this frequency challenge, and we're going to be moving into a whole new realm of challenge for us for next week. And we'll be saying goodbye to the AM portion of the challenges for the rest of the season. So for the month of April, we'll be doing one big challenge. It'll be for the weeks of the 7th through the 14th, the 14th through the 20th. No, I got that wrong. I've got that way wrong. That doesn't add up. The 3rd through the 10th, the 10th through the 17th, and the 17th through the 24th. So 3 weeks. We're going to be doing a challenge for 3 weeks. It's going to be on the FM band. So that'll be how we finish up. We'll wrap everything up on the 24th. And then on May 1st, our last episode of the season, we'll do a season in review, and we'll go out in style. So, and then be ready for the Summer of DX Challenge, which will be relaunching again this year, the Summer of DX Challenge. So, super excited about that. Super excited about this next challenge we got coming up on the FM side. I really hope you guys take advantage of it because it's going to be helpful for you as you get ready for FM season. It's going to be really, 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 really helpful. Wink, wink, hint, hint, nod, nod. For all of our sponsors, thank you guys so much for your support. Patreon.com/DX Central if you want to join in with them. You also want to say, and I want to say, thank you to our sponsors. International Radio Club, the IRCA, IRCAonline.org, the National Radio Club, nationalradioclub.org, the Spectrum Monitor Magazine, thespectrummonitor.com. Just got my new issue just came out. My article is in there talking about the future of AM and FM DX, where we kind of talk about some of the stuff we mentioned earlier in the first hour about, is AM DX really dying? We'll talk about that in the article, all right? For all of my friends in the chat, for all of you guys watching either live or on the replay, thank you so much, and we appreciate you. We'll see you again next week right here on DX Central Live. Take care, my friends.
Friday night rolls in the air. us through the noise. Feel the thrill, enjoy the joys. Ghostly whispers in the dark. Find a station, hit the mark. Fading in and fading out. Lloyd helps clear the doubt. Stories from the distant land, caught by waves that we command. From our homes we hear the call. DX Central Live for all. DX Central Live tonight. Turning dials, feeling right. Lloyd will guide us through the waves. All the signals we will crave. DX Central Live tonight. Turning dials, feeling right. Lloyd will guide us through the waves. All the signals we will crave. DX Central Live tonight. Turning dials, feeling right. Lloyd will guide us through the waves. All the signals we will crave. DX Central Live tonight. Turning dials, feeling right. Lloyd will guide us through the waves.
This is DX Central Live. This is DX Central Live. This is DX Central Live.